Hey Libra, welcome back to Key Wisdom Tarot. My name is Ruth, I'm your Reiki Master and Tarot Reader, and this Libra is your intuitive reading for the time between the 29th and the 12th, 29th of August and the 12th of September. Now, thank you all so much if you are regulars to Key Wisdom Tarot, and if you are new to Key Wisdom Tarot, welcome. Thank you for being here. You're very welcome, my darlings. Key Wisdom is mindfulness, meditation, Reiki, and tarot, and the aim of the work that I do here is about helping you to heal, raising your vibration, and helping you to sort of engage with your soul self as well as your ego self. Okay, so without further ado, my darlings, I've shuffled and meditated. I'll do a little bit more of that on camera, and then we'll get started on your reading. Interesting. Okay, card at the base of your reading, my darlings, is the Hanged Man. This is the same base reading card for Gemini, and you saw how I did the shuffling, so no idea how that's ended up there. The card at the base is really the perspective that you need to see this reading through, or this next couple of weeks through. For you guys, it is the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is all about gaining perspective, gaining wisdom, in order that you can move forward into new energies, into new experiences, and to transform. Okay, so I think this is number 12, and then number 13 is the Death card. So it leads us to our transformation. It leads to enlightenment. It's number 3 as well. 12, 1 plus 2 is 3. So that's the beginning, number 1, of a commitment to ourself, a new way of communicating with yourself, a new way of acknowledging your experiences is unfolding. And that is not just for you, actually, Libra. That's also for all the earth signs, and you know, especially I recommend watch Gemini's reading if you feel so, and also I recommended to Gemini that they watch Capricorn's reading. So those two readings might be of interest to you. All right, my darlings, these are our key energies and outcomes for this time period, and then we've got these energies. We can relate them to weeks. Okay, so the 29th to the 4th, and then the 5th to the 12, or we can just relate them to, you're going to basically experience all this stuff. Okay, so we'll look at the energies now, and then we've got some clarifiers here. Okay, so let's look at this one first, my darling. We've got the Emperor. We'll look at this one right at the end. So the Emperor, number 4, the 4th house in astrology is about your foundations. Okay, it's about where you come from. It's about the family, the ideals, the rules that you learned. Number 4 is okay. Now there's the Emperor. There's been an understanding. The Emperor's gained understanding and excavated those things, investigated those things, understands where he comes from, has done the work to understand where his ideas come from, has done the work to understand where his perspective comes from, has done the work to understand where his desires come from, has done the work to understand where his fears come from. Now, I say he because it's divine masculine. It doesn't mean a man, doesn't mean a male person. Male, masculine in form of tarot, meditation, mindfulness, energy is all about actions, okay? So in this instance, it's about actively going out in the world to find out this information. The key energy is you doing that, you understanding that, you engaging with that over this next couple of weeks. It's as if, as a key sort of focus for you, something that you should be mindful of is those aspects of self. Where does my idea come? Where do my ideas come from? Where do my desires come from? Where does my opinion come from? Where does this point of view come from? Where does this feeling originate? Where does this anxiety originate? The reason the emperor is so strong is because the emperor knows this stuff. So this could indicate that either you have already done that work, or this is the type of stuff you'll be engaging with over this next couple of weeks. And it could be that you are engaging with those type of questions because we have this Hanged Man, which does suggest, hint at this idea of not isolation necessarily, but space where you're trying to engage with those type of questions, or trying to understand or see something from a different perspective, or to see your life, yourself, your ego, your personality, whatever, from a different whatever it is for you as an individual. So it could be, this could indicate that these are type of questions that you're going to be asking yourself and reflecting on over the next couple of weeks. So let's have a look at your energies. So we've got for this month, okay, for this first week, this is clarified. The Five of Cups is clarified. We'll look at that clarification in a minute. We've got the Seven of Swords, we've got the Ace of Wands, and we've got the Six of Pentacles. So the Five of Cups is clarified by this card. We'll look at that in a second. Now, let me tell you this. Just like I said to Gemini, you only make progress once you acknowledge. You only make progress once you acknowledge. I'm confused. I don't know. I can't make a decision. I feel sad. I feel anxious. These are acknowledgements. I feel hurt. There's no point. We can't always live in our heads. Now, you, Libra, you're an earth sign, just like Gemini. And you know, because I've told you many times this year, the transformation that your signs are going through this year. And you felt it. Now, I'm not shouting at you. You know this. I'm trying to give you that confidence. I'm trying to give you that sort of stay the course. Stay the course. Do the work. Face it. I'm giving you that encouragement because you've done so much up until now. We don't stop. We don't stop now. What is it? The fame, that cliche, but good. We've not come this far just to come this far. You haven't. This is you acknowledging these things. Remember, I've told you about number 4. He's done the work, the Emperor, he's done that work. He's tried to understand, why do I desire this? Why do I want this? Why do I feel this way? Why do I have this? Why do I know this? Blah, 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 blah. He's done that work. Acknowledge. That's where the power is. That's where the strength is. That's where the confidence comes from. This is what you're doing now. This is what you are doing. So, and it's something that needs to be changed. So the mind, I can tell myself in my mind, oh no, I ain't angry at him. I'm not angry at her. I don't care about that. I'm not bothered about that. But feelings are different. Thoughts and feelings are two different things. You can tell yourself till you're blue in the face that you do not care about him, that you do not care about that you do not care about him. You can tell yourself that, and you can convince yourself in your mind, which is what so many people do in life. But you feel how you feel. And this is you facing up to that. This is you facing up to that. You feel how you feel. Just allow yourself to feel it, because once you feel it, what happens after the 6? What happens after the 5 of Cups? We get the 6 of Cups, don't we? We move on. This is your emotional baggage. This is an acknowledgement or an engagement with that for you guys over this next couple of weeks. Look at that. This is a clarifying card here. The Star card. So what? Do you know? You don't need me to tell you. This is. I travelled to the stars. I told you. Oh, when was it? In January, February time. Oh my word! What a beautiful meditation that was. It was a meditation that lasted about 4 days. No word of a lie. And I think it took me that long to get there. You think I'm talking rubbish? I'm not talking rubbish. It took me that long to get there. And it took me even longer to get back. There's a. You like, what are you talking about? You can this is what I'm talking about. So I'll give you an example. You can be sat in a chair in a room, and you can be aware, your awareness can stretch only that far. You can be like, I'm sat in a chair, I'm sitting in a chair, in a room. But then you can expand your awareness to the room. You can expand your awareness to the room so you can feel the energy of the room. You can feel, because not all rooms feel the same, and you know that because you've been in many rooms in your life. So that's not science, that's just facts. You know it. You've been in many different rooms and they feel different. You've been in many different houses and different buildings and they all feel different. And you are in there, you're present, you embody that space when you're there. You can move your awareness to the edges of the room, to the edges of the house, to the edges of the street, to the edges of the neighborhood, to the edges of the city, to the edges of the county, to the edges of the country, to the edges of the continent. You can do that. And it's all about awareness, and awareness is about acceptance. This energy is such a healing energy because what this energy tells me with this 5 of Cups is that the change that's coming for you, change number 5, is in this acceptance of an emotional cup that you've been holding on to. And it's really about almost in a way seeing it's actually been necessary. The cup, the emotional baggage, if you will, of the 5 of Cups has actually been necessary for you. It's here to slow you down in a way, which sounds strange to say that, but that's what it said. That's the message then. It was there to hold you back. It was necessary to hold you back for your healing. Now you know how you feel. The star I always talk about knows everything, you know. The star card knows everything. This is Aquarius's energy as well, isn't it? So this is linked to your energy as well. I always say the star knows everything, you know. So you have all the answers, but none of the details. With the star card, you can see everything, but you're so far away. It's tiny. So for you, it's like there's a new perspective on the suffering that you faced. The emotional suffering. And for you, some of you will do this. All of us do this. This is why the 7 of Swords exists as a tarot card. An archetypal energy. All of us do this. We all pretend, no, I don't feel bad. But you're about, no, I don't care. I'm over it. I'm not bad. We can tell ourselves that in our minds till we are blue in the face. But you feel how you feel. This is these energies here. The acknowledgement of that. The acknowledgement that you've been doing that as well. All that is linked to this energy here of the star card. All that is linked to this energy of, okay, now it's time for new stuff. Now it's time for new experiences. But first of all, you have to acknowledge. If you don't pass number 5, you can't get to number 6, can you? You can't skip it. You've got to acknowledge. So the 7 of Swords is that energy of basically you're lying to yourself, or you have previously been not acknowledging this feeling that you've had, this emotional baggage that you've had, but it's been necessary. It's like not letting yourself feel the effect of a trauma until it's time, until you've got space. It's like for all those teachers out there, you'll be going back to school very soon. You know, I'm an ex-teacher, as you know. It's like a teacher. It's like you go in to school to the beginning of the term. This is the longest term, this term, the autumn, winter. It's the longest term. We do more days between now and December than you do without a break, you know, than you do. Anyway, so what you do as a teacher is you go in, you're motivated, you're high energy, you're up for it, you can do it. And then it gets to October and you're exhausted, yeah? But you don't tell yourself, but no, I'm fine, no, I'm all right. So this is you, for example, feeling the exhaustion. Your body feels it. You could cry that you're that tired, but no, I'm fine. Oh, no, I'm fine. Oh, no, I'm fine. And you can go, and that can get you to Christmas. The 7 of Swords, man, gets you to Christmas. But that is what it's like. That's what it's like with the difference between feelings and thoughts. They're two different things. So, but sometimes it's necessary to hold off feeling that exhaustion, because if every teacher got to August off or October, I used to always, man, that last week before the October where we have a break. I don't know what they call it in America and around the world, but we have a break about 8 weeks. in England. We have a break. We work for about 8 weeks and then we have a week off, and that is hard. Don't ask me why, but it is. It's just the hardest term. And it's dark, and you're getting up early, and it's dark, and you're coming home, and it's dark, and it's just miserable. But it's necessary, and that's what this is. That's what these 3 cards tell me. It's like you've been holding off the exhaustion, holding off feeling it, telling yourself it's or whatever it is for you, telling yourself you don't really feel that, but it's been necessary that you do that. Just like like it is for us teachers. I keep saying us teachers. I'm no longer a teacher, but you know what I'm saying. Like it is for us teachers to keep going, keep going, keep going. This is you keeping going, keeping going, keeping going. But it's coming to the point now. Tell us it was necessary with the Star card, but it's coming to the point now where you start to feel it. And there's this we've got the Ace of Wands next. So this Ace of Wands here tells us that this is the beginning of the actual act of starting. So it's not feeling like you want to begin. It's actually the beginning of it, the first step, if you will, the action that you're going to take. And it's as if there is again this acknowledgement, which is necessary to happen. It happens in your mind. You do it. You allow yourself to think it. You allow yourself to see it differently. Blah 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 blah. But there's also an external action that you undertake, and there's also an external manifestation of the realization that you now come to, acknowledging that you felt the pain, but that you also denied the pain. That in itself is a start of something. It's the beginning of something, and that's what these mean. And it's as if what begins is a form of reciprocity, is a form of, I keep saying it today, the fruits of our labour. What you've been doing, i.e. holding back. I'm using the teacher example because it's a good example. It's a great example, actually. Great example. If I do say so myself. But what's been going on is that energy that's held back and that's held in, which has been necessary, that's turning the wheel for you. That's bringing in justice for you. That act in itself brings about the reciprocity, the rest, the relaxation, the reward. Don't like to say the word reward, but reward or a thing that you need. What this tells us is you're gonna see in your world manifested balance, and the balance is going to be brought about, or the balance is brought about because of this stuff that you've already done, if that makes sense. The energy that you put into almost suppressing the emotions, it was kind of necessary to suppress them that long from the universe's point of view, so that you really do feel them and can no longer ignore them, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? It's like you denied it for so long. Karmically, the universe has to give us a tap on the head. And this is kind of like what is going on. You're getting that tap on the head. And the tap on the head that you're getting is the unflinching reality that you have emotions, and that your emotions affect your actions. And that's a really positive thing to, for example, that's an example. So for some of you it'd be different things, but that's kind of what we're seeing here. So we're getting a real authentic vibe coming through, a truthfulness coming through, and you've earned it. Now people think that karma, because we're man, you know, mankind, so we don't have the foresight, but we think that, look, what did I tell you? 6 of Cups. We think that karma is you do something bad happens to you. You do something good happens for you. That's not what karma is. That is just not what karma is. That's the more simple. It's just not what karma is. Karma is brought about by the things that we do and the things that we do not do, the things that we avoid doing. So this is an example of the karma being brought about. This top row is an example of karma being brought about because of things that we've avoided, if that makes sense. So because we avoided our feelings, it was necessary, important, because you've got to get through the end of term, for example. Now there is no way you can deny that they exist. Yeah? Does that make sense? That's what this is kind of about. And it brings about a balance, a new balance for you within. So moving forward to into September, but obviously these are all things you're going to experience. Don't worry about the time frame. We've got Page of Swords with a clarifying card. We'll look at that in a second. Six of Cups, which I've already talked about. The Hierophant and the Eight of Swords. How funny. I've had these two cards in like the last few readings, which is very interesting. Anyway, you've got the Page of Swords, the discernment of the Page of Swords. You're on firmer ground with this energy because it's your energy, it's her energy. Detail oriented is the Page of Swords. Do not get you sorry. See, I know what's gonna happen. You're gonna see this and be like, yeah, it's fine. I can organize my thoughts, I can organize my emotions. No, you can't. This is the old way of doing stuff, and now you have to take into account new stuff. You've got to take into account new information from your emotional body. You've got to take into account these new feelings that this new way of living, this new way of living for you is about that acknowledgement of your emotional body and that emotional state and your intuition, and even though it's not something necessarily that you do or that you're used to doing, it's definitely something that you are, because some of you are very much you're like you have very distinct aspects of yourself. So you have this is the person that I am, and this is the person that I show myself as to the outside world, and this is who I am when I'm alone. And the two are, I'm not saying that you're a fake person or whatever like that, nothing like that, but it's like it's very distinct. There's a very distinct separation between what you allow about those two things crossing. Just I can see it. It's almost like in, like if you was a file like this, like two of these stacked up, that's you. But they're very much boxed off. It's like they have been. Like it's like you know that there's two sides. Not two sides. It's not like that. It's not like you're fake. It's not like that. It's just like compartmentalized. You're very compartmentalized. What I don't want you to do, just because maybe that's emotion, we all do it to an extent, but it feels like you are, or you have been able to very clearly define inside, outside. You've very clearly, and not all of us can do that actually. We can't. It's very hard to clearly define our ego, which is the outside, and our intuition, which is the inside. And you guys can do inside physically. That's what you're able to do. Very clearly, very clear cut. They may not touch, kind of thing. I don't want you, but this experience, enforced, ignoring, which has been necessary, is like the universe has gone like this, and it's sort of mixed those two things, that blurred those lines between your ego and intuition. And what some of you are going to be tempted to do is to do what you've always done. Apply logic, apply reason, stay on that way. But you're not going to be able to do that. Justice is here bringing in balance. Now, Justice and Star card, for me, are linked because we have that similar thing of knowing all the rules. Similar in this sense, knowing all the rules but none of the details. This is about seeing everything from all sides, and this is you've got the logic and the reason, but you've also got the emotional body, as I said, those two sides of yourself. That's what brings about the balance of number 6. That's what brings about the balance of justice. The fact that we have to, and that you finally can truly fully acknowledge and authentically absorb that, and let those two parts of yourself, as I said, your ego and your divine masculine and your divine feminine, basically, you can let those two sides of yourself coexist and mingle and listen to each other. And that's maybe how you were maybe in the past. Number 6 is that harmony. 6s are all about harmony. So think about the Lovers card. That's what the Lovers card really represents, the Adam and the Eve. It's a unification of the divine masculine and divine feminine within us, okay, within yourself. So that, i.e., you know, the emotions and our emotions and our intuitions combined with, mixed with, in a harmonious way, our egos. And by egos I mean the external parts of us, what we do, what we say, who we think we are, who we tell people we are, blah 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 blah. The fact that they coexist and commingle, so that that's what brings about that balance. And we have that energy here with the number 6. So there's a tenderness with this energy of the 6 of Cups. There's a tenderness of acceptance, self-acceptance, self-compassion here, where you are able to acknowledge the coming together of those sides of yourself, the unification of those sides of yourselves, of both sides of yourselves. And remember, we're all in the same boat. We're not any different. We're all in the same boat. And we've all got divine masculine, divine feminine, inner child. We've all got those 3 parts of ourselves. And the unification of those things is what brings about, if you will, nirvana. Well, God, no, it's way nirvana's like way down, way off. You've got a few more steps, but what I mean is that's kind of what one of the first steps, you know, when you get to that point where you can unify those parts of yourself, you know, that's when you can start creating new. That's when you can start wielding that power, understanding, recognizing, I must take into account my emotions and intuition. And that's the thing, it's like you haven't for a long time, but it's meant to be that way. That's the karma avoidance. That's the way that karma's intervened in your life to stop you from feeling your emotions for a long time, so that when you finally get the breakthrough to happen and get the emotions flooded in, which is happening now, you cannot deny that they exist. And so you're in a space now where you have to, as I said, acknowledge both of these things and bring those two things together. Okay, I'm going to speed up because I'm taking ages. Look, new world. I mean, we've got this completely new beginning now for you guys. You wielding those energies together, unification. And once you can unify yourself fully like that, you're able to manifest. This is a new space, a new era for you guys, for you Libra. It's a new era for you because you are the World card, last of the major arcana. So think about it. You've done the work. You've been through all the stages. Whether that's been, you've been conscious of it, fully conscious and awake while that's been going on, it doesn't really matter. It's happened. The process of change has been going on within you. And even though I'm going to talk about these 2 cards really quickly, because we're getting text ages today, because even though we all have emotions and we all feel things, we don't always acknowledge them. But once we do, that's where the power is. Because that's when you start to know the truth about who you are. I mean, ego's one thing. Yeah, you know, this is what ego, both sides of ego, this is like it. You have one side ego here, which is everything that everyone ever said, everything that everyone ever did that you know about, everything that you did, everything that's out there in the world, all the actions that you took, the conversations that you had, you know, everything that you were taught, everything that you were taught at school, church, whatever. And then there's the other part of you, which is a constant. It's constant. It's always been there. It's always been you. The two, we have to know both. I mean, I when I was at school, as a student at school, I wanted to do English and media studies and communication studies, and I did, and law. And I did those things because I remember thinking in my head, in my brain, you've got to learn the rules before you can break them. That's kind of like what the Hierophant does. It's like, you know all the rules, you know how it all goes, you know how society is, you know what people say, you know what's right and wrong, but there's still you. There's still your soul, there's still your calling, there's still your joy, there's still your desire, there's still your empathy, there's still your compassion, there's still this part of ourselves that we have to acknowledge is there, that it's, we can't just do what, even though it's, this is the thing, you are free. People don't believe that they are free, but you are free. You can do whatever it is you want. You can kill someone, you can stab someone, you can do whatever, but you choose not to. Now, hopefully, you choose not. Other people do. Other people go around killing people. They go around killing people and hurting people, and that's their choice. Now, let's not talk about nature, because we'll be here all day. But you have a choice, just like the criminals in prison have a choice, just like the drug dealers and the drug cartels. I've been watching a lot of I've been watching Narcos for the last week, so that's why I'm like about talking about drug cartels. But anyway, you are free to do what you want, but why do you do it? Why do some people choose to break the law? Why do some people choose to keep the law? Do I keep the law? I don't go around killing people and hurting people? And do I do that because it's illegal? So do I not hurt people because it's illegal? No. I don't hurt people because that would hurt me to hurt somebody else. And I'm sure that's what it's like for a majority of people. So you have a choice. And it's that's what the Hierophant represents. And so you can live by the rules of society, you know them. But there's also you. People know it's illegal to, I don't know, kill somebody. Obviously, that's a very obvious one. So please do not go around killing people. But you know what I'm saying? People know it's illegal to kill people, but they still do it. People still kill people every single day. They go kill people, and they know it's bad. They know that they're going to go in trouble, and they still do it. They still choose to do it. Why? There's those sides of ourselves that we understand, and once we can understand who we are, that's when we can manifest and create. And you're in that space where you're able to now, even if you're anxious, which you are clearly with this energy, stuck in a way of thinking that you can't, that you shouldn't, that it's not right, that whatever it is for you as individuals, stuck in a way of thinking about yourself and limiting yourself. We limit ourselves. But did you see that? We limit ourselves, and there's no need. I'm rushing through these cards because it's going to take hours to upload this video, and I've got so many more to do. And I want them all out on Wednesday. Anyway, so we've got this card here with this energy of the Ten of Pentacles. And Pentacles energy is where we put our energy in order to manifest security, okay? And this is, as I said, manifested security. You're able to see the fruits of your labor. You're able to see this is the result. This is the result of this. The karma. The karmic, I don't want to say reward, but I'll just say reward. The karmic reward, the karmic payback of pushing your feelings down, lying to yourself, and then finally that burst through. It was meant to happen exactly how it was. This is that new start, new beginning here indicated, and a new start, new beginning about you and your personal power, about you and your ability to manifest the life that you want, or the security that you want, or the relationship that you want, or whatever it is you desire and need and see in your life as feeling secure for you. So there's an aspect of getting that, having those things, owning those things. We've got next, this is your last card, your outcome card, okay? And we've got this card here, opportunity. What do I say about this card? Again, it's an opportunity that's been created because of the work that you've already done. Because of the fact that you ignored it for so long. This is like, for example, these three cards here again, very significant, these cards actually. These three cards here again, it's like the Five of Cups, the Seven of Swords, and the Star card. This is like, for example, being in a relationship that's an abusive relationship, for example, and you held it back, you didn't. No, I'm fine. Do you know what? No, it's not an abusive relationship. No, I'm all right. It's all good. Like, I'll be fine. I'm not bad. No, I'm going to be fine. And then you put it off and put it off and put it off. But that's meant to happen. Because then what comes through is, I'm going to swear, shit. You wake up one day, and this is the first time in a long time that you really see where you lay. That's part of one of my poems. That's the Five of Cups. All that time of pushing down, not acknowledging, not speaking to, not thinking about, not talking about. Because eventually it's that avoidance in a way that wakes you up. Then you get up, you pack your bag and you're out the door. And there's no if, buts, maybes, blah, blah, blah. You get up, you get your stuff and you're out the door. Off in the world, for example. But this is the Three of Wands basically represents this idea, this energy of having tried so hard for so long, dragging that ship, you know, all through the hills and the dales. You finally get it to the water. And it's plain sailing from here on in. That's what you can look forward to over this next couple of weeks, okay? So this breakthrough moment that you have helps you to create, build the things that you want to see, the life that you now know, understand, recognize is appropriate for you, for who you are, for what you want, for what you need. The Hangman's there because that's where you've been. You're waiting to feel it, waiting to feel it, you know when it's gonna happen, when that time's right, and it's here now, and you feel it and you know it, and you recognize it and you sense it with this, and you know what you've been through. Okay, I'm going to leave it there because it's getting longer now, this video. Okay, my darlings, I hope you like that reading, my lovely Libras. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe and please like this video and share it, my darlings, if you think it will be helpful to other people on your Instagram, your Facebook, your WhatsApp. I'll be back next week with more readings, love readings, and I'm going to do the astrology for the month of September, so keep an eye out for that. The transits are below. What else we need to tell you, my darlings? Instagram and Facebook at Key Wisdom Tarot if you want any little extras. And that is it, my loves. Have a wonderful couple of weeks, and I will see you all again very soon with your brand new readings. Take care, my darlings. Bye.